If you clicked on this video, you've got an exam coming up and you want to make sure you get the best grade possible. My name's Dennis and I got straight A's in every single important exam I sat in school. And since it's all about marks and not who's actually the most intelligent, there's a certain way that everyone can get the best grades if they put the work in. So I'm not going to waste your time, here's how to do it. The first thing you need to do is understand how to revise efficiently. The best way you can do this is to gamify studying. Now what this means is that you should always be testing yourself when you're revising. Not only does this mean you can see yourself improve, because you should be getting better grades every time you do a practice paper, but it means you actually hold on to the information a lot more than if you were just reading a textbook. Another thing that helped me to remember stuff a lot more was Quizlet in my spare time. Now this obviously isn't an ad, but whenever I was on like a train journey or something where I just have time to kill, I'd get on Quizlet and start going from flashcards and testing myself. If you're able to get revision into your normal life, then studying becomes a lot less of a struggle and you start to really remember things that are important. It's also actually massively important to pay attention to your diet. Now you don't have to eat super healthy, but there's a massive difference between students who are eating real food and students who are just eating like sugary stuff, because if you're just eating junk food, your mind becomes a lot more foggy, you feel more tired and you're a lot less motivated to study. So if you're able to exercise and eat clean before your exam, it's actually going to bolster your performance in the real thing. Now my personal secret to A stars is what I call a secret sheet. On the day of the exam, you probably try and cram in everything that you studied and try and remember it all and go over everything again. This is the worst thing you could do. Instead, on the day of the exam, you want to have one side of A4 paper that is all you look at. And this should just have the information and facts that you can't get nailed down. If there's a certain date in history that you can't remember, write this down on the sheet. So on the journey to the exam, you can look at the sheet and remember what just won't stick. You'd be surprised by how many people just try and overload their brain with information. On the night before and the day of the exam, you want to actually relax it and just get down to the stuff that you really need to remember. But what is super important is that you don't make the exam your entire life. And even in the preparation periods, you live your normal life, but obviously with a few hours of revision every single day. During my A-levels, for example, I was still making YouTube videos, I was still going to play football. It's important that you don't make revising everything, because that is how you become stressed. And that's when you start overthinking things and actually perform worse in the actual exam. So just relax a little bit. You can still play PS4 with your mates, because the minute that exam becomes the only thing on your mind, that's when you start procrastinating, that's when you get stressed and you ultimately perform worse.